UFC Vegas 111, Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown just ended, and this is going to be my full card post-fight of this illustrious UFC Apex card that will lead us to UFC 322, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena, which I cannot wait for, by the way. But yeah, I'm going to break down every single fight on the card. Main card overall was actually super easy to watch. A lot of crazy finishes. Matter of fact, I think the entire main card was finishes. Yes, it was. So we're going to break down every fight. Gabriel Bonfim, Randy Brown, Joseph Morales, and Matt Schnell, which was a co-main event in 2025. Uros Medic versus Muslim Salikhov. There's going to be a lot of quick breakdowns because there were a lot of quick fights on this card. So let's jump right into it. We are going to start off with the first fight of the night, Zachary Reese versus Jackson McVey. I was this close, boys. I picked Jackson McVey in this fight. Had literally a whole 1 minute to think about it before I picked this fight. Jackson McVey came out early. He got leg kicked. He ate a couple leg kicks that he kind of reacted to badly. But then next thing you know, McVey's in the clinch, just smashing elbows, smashing knees. Reese is having some moments of his own, even ripping to the body. But even drops him at one point with, I think, a knee to the body. And then it seems like McVey's going to break him. And then he low blows him with the knee, and they have their break in action. And they go right back to it when it restarts. But then McVey gets taken right down, gets tripped down, gets controlled a bit, and then that basically ends the round. McVey clearly won the first round, busted up Reese, had him bleeding from an elbow in the clinch, had him bleeding from his eyebrow. And then the second round, McVey tries the same strategy, gets taken down immediately, got back up, got taken right back down, tries to get back up against the fence, and Zachary Reese just jumps on his back and gets the rear naked choke. I got this fight wrong, boys. I think I got 3 picks wrong on this entire card because I did switch a pick, but we'll talk about that later. Man, I got this one wrong. I think it might have been rigged. I think it might have been rigged, man. The fix was in on this one, boys. But yeah, Zachary Reese gets it done. This was a Kentucky State Fair prelim, to be honest. Kentucky State Fair prelim. But it was fun while it lasted. Crazy clinch battle. Nasty knees, nasty elbows. McVey put up a decent fight. I actually feel bad for McVey. Every time he has a fight book, his opponent gets switched out 17 times. So Zachary Reese, the guy who got Batista bombed by Cody Bumdage, gets it done. Really wasn't all that impressed. Had some decent leg kicks. Obviously, he found the sub. He looked for the triangle at the end of the first round as well, but never came close to it, ended up on a bottom position. But I really think McVey just gassed himself out trying to get like an absolute brutal onslaught, forward-moving, clinch battle type finish, and then never really, he didn't have the grappling to keep up with Reese, and Reese was bigger and stronger. So McVey loses via second round rear naked choke. Next fight on the card, Miles Johns versus Daniel Marcos. Daniel Marcos gets it done via rear naked choke, chokes out Miles Johns in the second round, chokes him out cold. He refused to quit. Miles Johns refused to quit. Maybe Tom Aspinall could learn something from this performance. But anyway, I mean, Daniel Marcos just outclassed him, man. Outstruck him, outgrappled him, outworked him in the clinch, took him down, I think, once in the first round. Didn't control him for a long period of time, but had him down. It's not easy to take Miles Johns down. Did a little bit of ground and pound up against the fence. Was out striking him on the feet. Was actually kind of walking him down a little bit as well. Got a takedown. I think it was a single leg in the second round. And it was actually kind of similar to the McVey fight in the fact that Johns tried to rush up against the fence, like got to a knee. Marcos had like a single hook. And then Johns tried to rush up, and Marcos just jumped on his back and locked in a rear naked choke and just choked him unconscious. Daniel Marcos is actually a quality fighter. Miles Johns is too one-dimensional. All he does is kind of throw big power shots, and he doesn't even have KO power. That's the craziest part. So Daniel Marcos, I was pretty confident in this pick. I thought Marcos would win this fight. Basically just outclassed him. But it is crazy. I don't know that Marcos has a lot of subs in his career. Yeah, I thought they said that on the broadcast. It was his first sub ever. It was his first sub ever in his MMA career. And Miles Johns has only been subbed twice now, including this one. So that's pretty crazy. That's awfully crazy. The odds for the most unlikely outcome ends up coming to fruition. You never know. Miles Johns really had to sell it by going out cold, all right? But anyway, Daniel Marcos gets it done. Second round rear naked choke. Good performance. Next fight on the card. We have Tecia Pennington versus Denise Gomes. Denise Gomes walks her down, beats her up. Pennington swings and misses at air the majority of the fight. I think she got a trip takedown, but Gomes immediately reversed it and ended up on top. Caught a couple kicks, landed a couple big shots. Gomes just kind of walked her down and beat her up, bullied her in this fight. I mean, that's the gist of this fight. That's really I don't even know what more to say. Gomes just walked forward and had more power. I think one judge had a 29-28. I don't know what round you would give to Tecia Pennington. And this comes from a guy who just watched it for the first time because I had to go back and rewatch it. Or I had to go back and watch it fresh because I missed the original prelim. So I thought Gomes landed the better shots in each and every round. She had top position, I think, in 2 different rounds. And I don't know where you would give Tecia. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe it was 30-27 all the way around. But either way, Gomes gets it done via decision. Not much to say about that. Next fight on the card, we have Josh Hokit versus Max Gimenis. Gimenis came out and landed a nasty leg kick that honestly hurt Hokit's leg. But then after that, it was all downhill. It really was. He got dropped with a right hand. I think he got hit with a right, then a left, dropped him. He got back up. He gets swarmed against the fence and basically gets finished up against the fence. It was kind of a weird finish where after he got dropped, he gets up and then he gets just swarmed and clipped with another shot. I think it was a right hook. Put him down. Referee jumps in. Josh Hokit has a cringy post-fight interview that literally nobody cared about. This is quite literally the heavyweight Colby Covington. That's not a compliment. And I don't mean even in skill set. He's, I guess he has a decent chance because heavyweight is so bummy. Maybe he's the next Tom Aspinall. Athletic, has power, can get a couple KOs. But man, the gimmick is corny as hell. I wonder how many of these incel weirdos are going to start jumping up and down on this dude's dick. But he does get the KO against Max Gimenis. What can you say about that? This guy is now 6-2, has fought bummy opposition, is primarily a jiu-jitsu guy. Looked like he had a massive size advantage, but we really never got to see him try to take advantage. The best thing he did was land that leg kick early. And but after that, I mean, he got swarmed and KO'd. So good win from Josh Hokit, I guess, in his UFC debut coming off of Dana White's Contender Series. Next fight on the card, we have Mayra Bueno Silva versus Jacqueline Cavalcanti. Jacqueline Cavalcanti. You know what? I think I was mixing up this fight. I think one judge had it 29-28 for Cavalcanti. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe that's what I was mixing up with the Gomes-Pennington fight. Someone can let me know in the comments if they even know, because nobody probably watched this card. But Jacqueline Cavalcanti wins via unanimous decision, stuffed the takedowns, outclassed on the feet, was chopping the legs, was pumping the jab. Mayra Bueno Silva isn't that good. She's primarily a jiu-jitsu fighter. She couldn't find the takedown. Cavalcanti's actually decent. What's crazy, this is the craziest shit I'm ever going to say, but it's true. Cavalcanti could be champion. She probably right now has the best chance to beat Kayla Harrison. I'm being dead serious, as crazy as that sounds. I know it sounds insane. Obviously, if Nunes comes back, she has the best chance. But I'm talking about in the division right now. Off the top of my head, I'm not looking at the women's bantamweight division. Who else has the chance of beating Kayla Harrison? I think it's Cavalcanti. Maybe that's the fight that needs to be made. Kayla Harrison, Cavalcanti, White House main event. But yeah, Bueno Silva looked horrible. Her striking looked terrible. Her entries didn't look good. I think she shot on like 3 takedowns, got stuffed on every single one. Let me see what they say. She shot in on 4 according to these stats. But again, I don't trust those stats. But yeah, she shot in on a couple takedowns. Never came close to getting a single one. And Cavalcanti just pumped the jab, chopped the legs, used her lateral movement, and beat her up and won the fight. Next fight on the card, we have Ricky Simón versus Hani Barcelos. Hani Barcelos gets it done via decision. This was a crazy, wild fight. First round back and forth. Both guys got tagged pretty hard in the first round. But I thought Barcelos landed the better shots. And, the first round really could have went either. Honestly, the first and third were pretty close. I never saw the judges' scorecard, so I don't know exactly what rounds they scored for what. But the first round, early, Hani Barcelos got hurt up against the fence. I think he got caught with like a right hand. They were both throwing wild, crazy shots. But then later on, Barcelos landed some good shots. Barcelos got a takedown in this round, but then Simón reversed and ended up on top. And then late, Simón got tagged with a right hand. And yeah, I thought Barcelos probably won the first, but it could have went either way. Second round was clearly Barcelos. Barcelos landed a nasty right hand, then an uppercut, got a takedown, or Simón looked for a takedown, got stuffed, and then Hani Barcelos was popping the jab, landing good body shots, landed a good uppercut, got one takedown, I believe, but didn't really do nothing with it. I think Simón popped right back up and someone over his name. And then third round was kind of crazy, back and forth. I thought Barcelos was getting the better of it, and then Simón had, you know, a little bit of a flurry at the end, but wasn't really landing clean, but it looked like, okay, he's going to steal the third round, and then Barcelos lands a nasty, like, he threw it like a head kick, but it landed a heavy knee, and I thought that stole Barcelos the round. So Barcelos at his advance, how old is he now? He's like 39, right? He's 38 years old. He's 38 years old, and now he's on a fourth. I mean, look at this win streak. Christian Quinones, Peyton Talbot, Cody Garbrandt, Ricky Simón. I'm not saying they're elite of the elite, but that's actually a damn good win streak. And what's crazy is he lost to Kyler Phillips, who looked like he was on PEDs at the time. Before that, lost to Umar Nurmagomedov. That's crazy. Barcelos has excellent takedown defense. His striking still seems like it's getting better. He's super durable. He got his nose busted up a little bit in this fight, but he took some big shots in this fight and was never really like wobbled badly by any means. So good win on for Hani Barcelos, getting it done over Ricky Simón, the much younger guy. The one time I don't pick I usually pick the younger guy. I messed up on this card. Otherwise, I could have had a clean sweep. But yeah, Hani Barcelos gets it done. Next fight on the card, we have Hyder Amil versus Jamall Emmers. Jamall Emmers gets it done via decision. It was a clear-cut win. I had him winning every single round. First round was competitive. It was back and forth. Both guys landing good shots. Emmers got a takedown, but Hyder Amil was able to get right back up. Emmers cut him with a nasty elbow in the clinch. But Amil was just looking for big shots, throwing big bombs, trying to walk him down, and he was getting tagged. Emmers was just pot-shotting him. And Amil had some moments, but Emmers would just regroup and start tagging him again. Second round, Amil was already starting to get tired. Started getting beaten up. You know, he was lunging forward with big shots, getting tagged a bit, and then Emmers took him down and controlled him. Amil kind of accepted the position and got controlled for about maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes in the second round. So clear second round for Emmers. And then the third round, Emmers got an early takedown. And basically, Amil just tried to scramble, and he rolled. And there was one moment where he rolled, and Emmers used wrist control to maintain top position. And then did some decent damage on top. Landed some good elbows, some good hammer fist against the fence as well. And then Amil would like get to the fence, get back up, get dragged back down again. And then I think Emmers, there was a moment where it seemed like Amil was using his last bit of energy, and he was going to get back up and try to go off on the feet, gets ragdolled right back down, right in the mount. And then at the end, Emmers is looking for a finish with some big elbows, some mounted elbows. So good win from Jamall Emmers. I think I said this in my prediction video. Jamall Emmers is criminally underrated. I'm not saying he's the elite of the elite, but he is criminally underrated, man. He's actually really good in all facets. And he kind of drowned Amil. Amil's known for drowning guys with his pressure, and Emmers kind of drowned Amil. I mean, Amil was completely gassed by the end of the fight. He got out-grappled, he got outstruck. And Jamall Emmers gets it done via unanimous decision. I thought Emmers could have probably found a finish. There was a couple times he was looking for an arm triangle, but wasn't really able to find it, or didn't want to risk losing top position to look for it, to get it. But yeah, overall, good win for Jamall Emmers, and he gets it done via decision. Next fight on the card, opening up the main. I actually had back-to-back really solid picks that nobody was picking. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Marco Tulio. This was a crazy fight. And I saw this coming a mile away when I'm watching the fight, if that makes sense. Like, I think I picked Leroy Duncan. Let me actually see if I can check that real quick. I think I picked Leroy Duncan to get it done via decision. I did pick him via decision. He gets it done via second round KO, which was an absolute filthy spinning back KO, then clipped him with a big shot. But I could tell Tulio was about to get broken. I really could. I mean, early CLD was just pressuring him, landing good shots. He lands a nasty spinning elbow early that cuts open Tulio. Tulio's trying to throw some leg kicks. He clinches up with him, starts battling with him in the clinch. A little bit early, Tulio's kind of landing, or not landing. Tulio's kind of controlling him a bit in the clinch and even gets him down for a second, but CLD gets right back up. And then eventually, I think it's Tulio that disengages, like decides not to engage anymore in the clinch because he's not really having any success. And then Duncan starts walking him down again. Tulio clinches back up, or Leroy Duncan closes the distance. They end up clinching back up. Then they break again. And then Tulio takes him down off a spinning back wheel kick, I believe it was. And then CLD even scrambled back up off of that and took Tulio down, landed a nasty like 12-6 elbow to the side of the head, landed some good ground and pound, clearly won the first round. Then the second round, he ends up just doing the same thing. I could just see Leroy Duncan had no respect for Tulio. Maybe that could have cost him in this fight. It didn't. But just starts walking him down, and you could just see he's looking for a highlight reel KO. 100% he was looking for a highlight reel KO. They end up clinching up for a little bit in the second round, but Christian Leroy Duncan ends up winning the position, then just kind of backing out. And then Duncan lands a nasty spinning back fist. Again, I'm telling you, he was clip farming the entire fight, and he found the clip. He lands a nasty spinning back fist. Then he lands I think it was a left-hand jab that backed Tulio up even more, snapped his head back a bit. He was already rocked bad. And then lands a right hook that puts him down. He's face down, ass up, just getting smashed, back shots dead over and over and over again. I forgot who was the ref. I don't know if it was Mark Smith on this one or not. This is what people wanted to see in the main event, I guess. Man, Tulio's face was sniffing the canvas, and he was just getting his head popped. I mean, it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal, man. It really was. Hold on a second. Am I misremembering this? I'm trying to remember this finish right here. No, it was. I think he had his ass up in the air. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Actually, I have ESPN open right now. I'm pretty sure that's what happened, right? Because I'm thinking the Padilla finish. No, it was. Oh my God. Yeah, he just smashed him. He comes forward. I'm actually watching. It was a nasty stiff jab after the spinning back fist. Big right hand. Puts him face down. And then one big right hand. Okay. So that's what I'm misremembering. I knew something was off with my memory on that. It was only one big right hand that smashed him. It wasn't multiple. It was the Padilla fight that was multiple big right hands smashing him on the ground. But either way, Christian Leroy Duncan showed that he's leaps and bounds better than Marco Tulio. Really, really outclassed him this fight. And you could just tell CLD knew he was so much better. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go out there and look for a big finish. And he went out there and got a big finish and knocks out Marco Tulio in the second round. A lot of people were doubting him in this fight. I went back and watched just a little bit of tape, and I was like, yeah, I can't pick against CLD in this one. Tulio did not look that good against Tresean Gore. So, great, crazy finish for CLD. Next fight on the card. This is the one that was absolutely brutal. We have Chris Padilla versus Ismael Bonfim. Bonfim early was just throwing big shots, but really it was on the guard. Padilla's smart, man. He was just shelling up, cracking back with some good shots of his own, and really smashing the legs and letting Bonfim kind of punch himself out a bit. And first round was kind of close. They ended up clinching for quite a bit, and they were kind of battling in the clinch a bit. And Ismael Bonfim, I think, got one takedown, but Padilla really got right back up and then landed a good shot as he got up. I think Padilla might have got a crack with a good shot on the way back up. But either way, first round was close, but I thought probably Padilla because really the majority of Bonfim's shots were on the guard. And then the second round, Padilla really knew he was breaking him down. I could tell the finish was coming. I mean, he was chopping at the legs. Bonfim was starting to get tired. He was swinging more labored. His hands were starting to drop a bit. He ate a body shot. Then he actually kicked Padilla in the groin or kneed him in the groin. I don't remember what it was. And Padilla said, nah, I don't want the stoppage because he knew he was breaking Bonfim. I remember, go watch my live commentary if you don't believe me. I said, the finish is coming soon. The finish is coming soon. The finish is coming soon within a minute. I said, the finish is happening this round. I could just tell Bonfim was starting to break. You know, it's like when I saw Bo Nickel getting walked down about to get broken as well. And once he started breaking, Padilla just really went after him and just started smashing him. And I'm trying to remember the exact sequence. How can I not remember the exact sequence here? I don't know how I'm forgetting this right now. Now I have ESPN open here. Let me see if I'm going to walk you guys through. I think it was a knee. Was it a knee? I mean, it's a fly-by-night company here. It's really a fly-by-night company around here. I think it was a knee that put him in. Was it a knee to the body? Smashed him. Oh, it was a knee up against the fence. Yeah, I think it was a knee up against the fence. And basically, Bonfim was exhausted. He wasn't hurt badly, but he was completely exhausted. He goes there. Yeah, he shot a takedown. I'm rewatching the fight. And he's up against the fence. There's some elbow. Yeah, there's some nasty elbows to the side of the head against the fence. And then I think he lands a knee too, doesn't he? No, he doesn't land a knee. There was almost an illegal knee there, if what I'm remembering. And he basically just chooses to go to his back. And he just starts getting smashed on the ground. I'm watching it right now live. I could do this on like a Patreon, watch the fights, put them up on screen, and just commentate them a little bit. And Bonfim's kind of going for like a Hail Mary heel hook here. And then eventually just basically he just starts getting smashed on. Padilla landing good elbows. And then he just turtles up, hands on his head, just waiting for Chris Taglioni to step in. And this was actually kind of a bad stoppage. And Taglioni's yelling, watch the back of the head, watch the back of the head, as he's getting his head just dribbled off the canvas. Great win from Chris Padilla. I feel bad for him here because he begged for a bonus. He said, my mom's in a trailer. Give me the 50K. This was a 50K worthy bonus. He took a guy who missed weight. By the way, I switched my pick on this one. Like, officially switched my pick. I said, dude's missing weight. He's got a shoulder injury, allegedly. I'm not picking Bonfim in this fight. And Padilla's nasty, man. Padilla's actually really, really good. I actually think, as crazy as it sounds, I think Padilla could be a ranked lightweight in the near future, as crazy as that sounds. And he looked really good in this fight. He had high fight IQ. He weathered the early storm from Bonfim. And then he's able to go out there and get the finish. He realized Bonfim was breaking. So he let Bonfim kind of punch himself out a bit. He slowly chipped away at that lead leg. And then eventually when he realized, okay, Bonfim doesn't have anything that's going to put me out anymore, he started being more aggressive. And that's when he ended up basically breaking him against the fence with the elbows and then just smashing him on the ground. Once Bonfim went down to the ground, he was basically defenseless at that point. The heel hook was a Hail Mary opportunity or attempt, and he was never close to getting that. And Bonfim knew he was done. He was completely gassed out, looking for the finish. I don't know if he had an injury. I don't know if he desperately needed the money. I think he was just showing up for a check in this fight. But I think still Padilla, good, solid win. I think Bonfim thought he could win this fight, even though maybe he was a little bit compromised. So good on Chris Padilla. Goes out there, gets a second round TKO. Next fight on the card, we have Muslim Salikhov versus Uros Medic. I went back and forth on this fight. Man, It was tough because Medic is so much younger, but Salikhov was on a hell of a streak, and basically Medic just KOs him early. It's a minute fight. It lasted 1 minute. Salikhov landed 2 shots. I think it was a straight left hand that hurt Salikhov. Then he went to the ground. He tried to sneak out the back door a bit. There was a filthy hammer fist to the side of the head, and that's what put Muslim out, basically. Basically finished him off. You go back and rewatch, he's trying to scramble a bit. He gets hit with that hammer fist. He's done. Dead body on the ground. Gets smashed out. Ground and pound shots from Uros Medic. The fight's called off. 1 minute TKO or KO from Uros Medic. Great performance against a guy who's really surging. I know Salikhov he's 40-something and he doesn't look that good, but he's on a great streak up until this point. He's on a decent streak up until that point, okay? I still think it's a decent win. Medic coming in, didn't necessarily need a win himself. I'm trying to remember what streak he's coming off a win against Gilbert Urbina. But yeah, we knew this fight was most likely going to end in some type of KO. Both guys are nasty finishers. Salikhov just got caught first, and Medic, I think, was a little bit faster and 10 years younger. I think something like that. So Medic gets it done. First round KO. Not much to talk about there. Next fight on the card, we have Matt Schnell versus Joseph Morales. Really, there's not much to talk about in this fight either. What are we going to say? Joseph Morales gets a first round guillotine. Schnell should be retired. Look at this. If this doesn't scream effeminate cucky vibes, I don't know what does. If this doesn't scream effeminate cucky vibes, I don't know what does. But essentially, Schnell got a takedown, gets out scrambled, gets tripped, ends up on bottom. As Morales is standing up, he comes down with his full weight. Then he gets into side control, starts looking for a Kimura. Schnell's trying to scramble. Morales laces up the other arm, has him in a crucifix position. And the crucifix position was all to set up Schnell trying to scramble and turn into him. Boom, right into the guillotine. Boom, it's done. The jiu-jitsu from Morales actually looked really nasty. I got to be honest, maybe I'm overrating him right now, but how slick he looked on the ground, I honestly think maybe he's a fresh flyweight contender. The jiu-jitsu looked unreal, man. He was like 10 steps ahead of Matt Schnell at all time. He went for the crucifix, essentially to bait Schnell into turning into him and getting that guillotine. Locked up immediately. Already had his arm there waiting. Just waiting on him. And Schnell didn't address it. In a millisecond, boom, he's getting choked out. And they asked him about it in the post-fight. He's like, I'm not going to give up all my secrets. Nope, I got so many setups from that position. So, great win from Joseph Morales. Is it over the dead body of Matt Schnell? Matt Schnell's the guy that elevated Steve Erceg off of. But yeah, I'd love to see Joseph Morales get a decent step up in opposition in his next fight. Because, man, he looked absolutely incredible in this fight. But again, it's against effeminate Cucky Vibes, formerly retired Matt Schnell in the co-main event of an Apex card. So Morales looked incredible, but what does it really mean? It's hard to say right now, but great submission. And honestly, I talk about it all the time. You know, I'll say, oh, this guy beat a bunch of bums, but look at the way he did it. I think this could be one of those wins we're looking back on in a while, and we're like, man, it's Schnell, but it's not that good. But look at the way he did it. I mean, just ran through him. So good win for Joseph Morales. Next fight on the card, the main event. We have Gabriel Bonfim versus Randy Brown. We get a second round KO by Gabriel Bonfim. There's so much to talk about here. First off, this should not be a KO. Absolutely should not be a KO. This should have been a DQ win for Gabriel Bonfim because Randy Brown in the first round had one of the most egregious eye pokes ever as he's getting his legs brutally chopped. He literally goes like this and intentionally eye pokes Bonfim. Bonfim gets a quick break in action, and then they continue. Bonfim does not quit like one Tom Aspinall. He decides, you know what, I ain't no pussy. I ain't going to quit like that. And he goes back out there and gets back to work. It was right at the tail end of the round, just like Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gahn. But first round, Randy Brown came out aggressive early. Bonfim just smashing the lead leg over and over and over and over again. And then towards the end of the round, starts letting go with his hands a little bit and lands a head kick after Randy Brown switches stances. And then in the second round, gets right back to it. Randy Brown's already compromised. We were less than halfway through the first round. Randy Brown was already compromised from leg kicks. That's how bad. And then when he would throw back some leg kicks of his own, Bonfim was checking him. And so basically Brown was done in the first round. Bonfim's not using a lot of energy either to slam these leg kicks in. He's not throwing much else. He doesn't even have to set up much. He lands the head kick as well. It's clear first round for Bonfim. Second round, more of the same. Then they end up kind of crashing into each other, and Bonfim grabs the back of his head, pulls it down, knees him. He falls backward. He kind of kicks him in the nuts a little bit after he lands the knee. Randy Brown goes down. He's clearly out cold. And Bonfim gets up like he's about to land a big shot, and then Mark Smith jumps in. You got Ariel Helwani, and you have other fans saying, early stoppage, early. He was fucking out cold. His arms were by his side. Only because Mark Smith jumped in was he able to get up his guard at all. He woke back up. Go watch the replay. The back of his head smacks the canvas. If you think this was an early stoppage, stop watching the fucking sport. I just don't get it. We have shitty call after shitty call after shitty call after terrible stoppage after terrible stoppage after terrible stoppage. This fight was over. This fight was clearly over. And you got Ariel and other media members and a lot of fans saying early stoppage. What did you want to see? Basically what Padilla did to Bonfim's brother? Is that what you wanted to see? He was clearly out cold. His arms were by his side. If it wasn't for Bonfim falling backwards himself, because they both fell at the same time, almost like it was a simultaneous KO, but Bonfim wasn't hurt. He was just off balance from throwing the knee. Because Randy Brown's so damn tall. He probably would have got off a couple shots and just smashed Brown, dribbled his head off the canvas. That's what it would have been. So it's like crazy to me that we have all these shitty calls and like we're wasting our time arguing about a nothing call. It was over. Even if you say, oh, I would like to see it go a couple seconds longer. Brown was out cold. His face was drooping. His hands were by his side. I just don't get it, man. The only reason he was able to wake back up after the back of his head smashed across the canvas is because Mark Smith saved him from more damage. He was about to get Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping 1, UFC 100. It was over. And people are complaining about this. Ariel Helwani, who doesn't even know the fucking rules in Las Vegas, complaining about it. Other people say, man, that was a tad early. Tad early for what? He was out fucking cold. Well, you want him seizing up on the canvas like Bryce Mitchell? Waking up, maybe thinking the earth is flat? And I know part of it was Randy Brown complaining. Randy Brown didn't see the replay. Randy Brown just woke up and said, what? You're stopping the fight? I mean, he literally would have got his head bashed in had Mark Smith not jumped in. It just pisses me off because it's complaints like this that makes the commission not care when we actually have a legitimate gripe. Because, oh, they're complaining about that. The guy clearly was out cold. His face was drooping. So now they're not going to care when there's actually a legitimate gripe. And Randy Brown should have been DQ'd for the eye poke in the first round anyway. Okay? So what are we even talking about here? But overall, just to discuss the fight, Bonfim looked incredible. The leg kicks were nasty. Brown always fumbles on big opportunities. I knew this going in this fight, which is crazy to me. 60% picked Randy Brown. 60%. And Bonfim went out there and just chopped his legs and then found that killer shot, found that killer instinct with that nasty shot in the second round. It was basically a masterclass up until that point, too. I mean, Brown had some moments, but literally a minute and a half into the first round, he couldn't plan on the lead leg anymore. And he couldn't fight out of southpaw either. So he was fucked after the first minute. I knew it was done. I knew it was a wrap. I thought he might get finished with literal leg kicks. I thought pretty soon he was going to be dragging his ass on the canvas like Neil Magny did against Ian Machado Gary. So good win from Bonfim. He calls out Colby. Everyone's shitting on that. They're like, oh man, what a waste of a call out. Colby's still in the fucking rankings. Make him look like a puss. Colby's a bum who's ducked everyone under the sun for years, getting undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot after undeserved title shot, when you have fucking clowns saying, well, he has YouTube views, man. He gets fucking YouTube views, bro. Well, get him out of the fucking rankings. Bonfim would work Colby like a little bitch, but Colby would never fight him. So I get why people are complaining about the call out. I mean, look, Colby ran from Ian Machado Gary like his life depended on it. I don't think he's too keen on fighting Bonfim. He was forced to fight Buckley. That was damn near a year ago at this point. He quit in that fight, by the way. Colby didn't get enough shit. He literally quit in that fight. 100% quit in that fight. So Bonfim, let me actually look up the rankings real quick. I'll tell you who I won. I'll tell you who I want him to fight in his next fight. There's got to be a banger matchup for him at welterweight. Let me take a look. Everyone's kind of matched up. Everyone's kind of matched up right now. Let him fight Joaquin Buckley or Jeff Neal. I wouldn't mind the Buckley fight. I like the Buckley fight. Buckley's at number 7. I think give Bonfim a big opportunity here. Or maybe a Gilbert Burns fight. Because he's already at number 14. Bonfim's at number 14. So he could fight Gilbert at number 11. I'd love to see the Colby fight because he'd submit Colby easy. Colby's a beta male soy boy who was masquerading around as some like alpha male, dick riding a political person, basically to get his cult following, which was an embarrassment. But yeah, went out there, beat Randy Brown. Randy Brown fumbles in big moments. He always does. I mean, he couldn't check a leg kick to save his life. The leg kicks were just the end of him in this fight, to be honest. So I think Randy Brown is like your perennial top 15 gatekeeper. Bonfim gets it done in the main event. And overall, the main card was actually super enjoyable. And I'm actually hyped. But it's kind of annoying. Every time we have a shitty card, somehow I get good picks. I went 9 out of 12 tonight because I did switch my other Bonfim pick. Ismael Bonfim. I switched my pick officially. But yeah, I mean, I could have not picked McVey. McVey was looking pretty good. Simón versus Barcelos. Okay, but I wasn't going to pick Barcelos, who was super old. So, and then we have the Bonfim brother, or the Salikhov fight. So overall, main card was pretty enjoyable. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys for UFC 322. Can't wait. I'll talk to you guys later. See you in the next video.